We have some major price action development in the markets as of yesterday's weekly candle close, monthly candle close, which I have been saying to be paying attention to because they could develop into mixed signals. As we've been having on the monthly time frame, I'm talking about the bearish divergence. Is that still going to be a problem? I'm going to be getting a look in. I'm going to be taking a dive into that signal later on in this video. Of course, we're going to be taking a look into some major economics news as well as altcoin setups, which will include Moo Deng, Memecoin, as well as Osaka protocol, which are these meme coins that I'm going to be updating you guys on based on their updated price setups, patterns, and see if their price targets have changed. Now, let's go ahead and go to the news first before diving into the charts. First piece here is by Crypto News. XRP price predictions. Expectation of a Fed rate cut could push Ripple's price up by $10. Insiders recommend fine mining's XRP contracts. So I've been talking about this major event that could be coming up, which is the Fed rate cut. Okay, something to be definitely paying attention to. Let's go ahead and take a look into the CME Watch tool. Okay, this is a tool that has been very accurate in predicting a Fed rate cut. And for the September 17th FOMC meeting, we have a 90% almost Fed rate cuts. There's a few things happening between now and then, which will include, I think, a PPI and a CPI report that could potentially affect these odds. But right now, it is looking overwhelmingly in favor of a Fed rate cut. And if that actually does happen, that's going to be very good for the markets. Okay, that's going to be very bullish for the markets because that means cheap money is coming into the markets or coming back into the markets, as we have seen back in 2021, the 2010s. Okay, that was very good for the financial markets and risk on assets. So something to be paying attention to here. Let's go to the next one, which is Crypto Potato. 3 reasons September could spark a Bitcoin rally. Okay, so key points here. Bitcoin is trading below 110K, but several elements suggest the asset may experience a substantial resurgence in the following weeks. Okay, I really want to know why, because that is what matters more. So let's go ahead and keep reading. Despite the positive signals, September has been a weak month for the assets. Yeah, I think I remember more weak months for September, but I don't really buy into the the months the months that are good or bad. I really believe in the trading pattern of the markets, right? If that trading pattern is good for that certain month, I think that's what matters more. And we're gonna get more into that into trading patterns in just a second. Um, let's see here. Let's see if this analyst actually provides some noticeable reasons without reading too much into it. So I think I see a main reason here where it says the Fed's next FOMC meeting is scheduled for September. According to Polymarket, there's an 83% probability that the percentage will be decreased by a 25 basis point, essentially, right? So that's basically pretty in line with the CME Watch tool, but this is at 83%, which is still pretty in line with it. All right, next piece here. This is by Crypto Potato. Bitcoin flashes golden cross is a massive rally coming. So I got a few things to say about this headline here. First of all, why you should be paying attention to Bitcoin is because this is still the driver of this crypto market. If Bitcoin pumps, that's very good for the altcoins. However, if Bitcoin dumps, very bad for the altcoins. Okay, I am still long on Bitcoin. I am long on quite a bit of the altcoins here. So my opinion on this market is still bullish in the longer run. Okay, I would probably say until at the rate that things are going right now, probably until 2026. Okay, it's been going very slow. This is nothing like the previous bull cycles we've seen where things go up very quickly and things come down very quickly. So I think this bull market could extend into later 2026, which is, I mean, in my opinion, it's not great because I would rather see things play out a lot more quickly, right? Rather than a move here, consolidate, another move here, consolidate. That could really slow down the profits, right? So let's go ahead and go to some key reasons here. The headline here, I don't see a golden cross anywhere. Okay, so when I read these headlines and when I listen to other people's opinions, I get a little critical and skeptical, and I think that's fine because I don't let everything I see and hear resonate, uh, or affect my thinking. I really see if it makes sense first before considering it. And in this case, it says golden cross. I don't see a golden cross anywhere, especially here with key points. It says Bitcoin forms a weekly golden cross. Do you guys see a weekly golden cross? Because I am using SMAs on the weekly and I don't see a golden cross. Is there a golden cross on the EMA? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, Bitcoin price 110K resistance with the potential upside to 112.5 if momentum holds above. There are some bullish signals on the shorter term time frame, like the daily, but I want to tell you guys something on the weekly that's going to be very important as well. Next key point, trader notes calm market conditions with many watching for a strong breakout in Q4. I am still bullish on Q4, but I do think that there are still some mixed signals to be careful of. Okay. All right. Next piece here is by Crypto Potato. Analyst defies Bitcoin bearish panic. Sees Bitcoin soaring to Q4 and on Fed policy shift. I still think 200K is very much on the table. I'm not sure if we'll reach there by Q4. But I am bullish on the Fed decreasing rates or heavily in favor of a rate decrease. All right, let's come back here to the charts because there has been some major development on the longer term time frames. I'm talking about the monthly time frame, the weekly time frame. So yesterday I mentioned that we had a very bullish candle close, even though it was a red monthly candle. And why is that? Why am I saying that it's still a bullish monthly candle close? It's because if we actually take a look into the monthly candle here, that's August monthly candle close still has not yet completely retraced that pump we had back in July monthly candle close. It would take a monthly candle close closing below 105K before I can say that it looks bearish, because that would retrace that pump that we had back in July. So that is the reason why. Also, I want to take a look into the monthly RSI here. Okay. If we actually take a look into, so I've been talking about bearish divergence on the monthly RSI, which has been invalidated before in major bullish cycle, bull cycle breakouts, like back in December 2020, October 2017. But like I said, this doesn't look like, so now this does not look like a major breakout here, right? Because or that kind of scenario where I would see bearish divergence on the monthly time frame and a breakout that followed, because we basically took a red candle, right? But I still think this looks bullish, because if we actually take a look into the monthly RSI reading here, the next high for the bulls to make on the price action chart just has to beat an RSI reading of about 72 to invalidate this bearish divergence. Okay, so if you guys know what I'm saying, if you guys don't, you guys can comment in the comment section below. What I'm saying is the bulls just need to have it just need to beat a RSI reading of 72 on the price action charts, on the next higher high on the price action charts, versus before it would have to keep going and beat an RSI reading of 76, which is much tougher because it will require a much stronger move from the bulls. So could September be the month that the bulls actually get a pretty good push here? We're going to have to see. We're going to have to zoom in a little bit into the weekly time frame. Now, like I said, the reason why we're talking about Bitcoin so much because it could affect your altcoin positions. If Bitcoin doesn't do well, that could very much impact your altcoin setups. I am long on Bitcoin, so my opinion on this market, of course, is bullish. But these are just my opinions and not financial advice. Now, let's go ahead and go to the weekly time frame. Also, very important time frame to be paying attention to. Because recall that I've been talking about the 110K resistance, which was the resistance out of a cup and handle pattern. That was something like this. Okay. However, since yesterday's weekly candle close, we did get a weekly candle close below that 110K support. That would invalidate that pattern because it broke back into that resistance below that 110K support, and now it is resistance. Okay. So when that happens, I invalidate the pattern because the breakout has been invalidated. So on this weekly time frame, what will happen if I rechart this? It looks like a rising wedge pattern, which is a bearish pattern. That is not good. Okay. So it looks good on the monthly time frame. However, on the weekly time frame, it's something I would be careful of. Because let's just say if Bitcoin breaks down by this point, for example, the breakdown target would be about 77,000. Is that possible? We have quite a bit of support, major support underneath Bitcoin, so something to be paying attention to. Okay. Of course, that is the higher probability of this breakdown happening. But of course, if Bitcoin is actually able to break above this rising wedge pattern, then it will look a lot better. That would be very bullish for Bitcoin, and that would be where I consider the start of this bull cycle now, since the last breakout has been invalidated. Let's go ahead and go to some altcoins. Okay, because we've been talking about Bitcoin for too long. Okay, let's talk about some altcoins. Now, let's take a look into what BOME could be doing. BOME, okay. I think I actually mentioned, I mentioned it wrong earlier in the beginning of the video. Let's talk about BOME and not MOG, okay. I meant that was a mistake in the beginning. So let's go ahead and go to the weekly time frame for BOME, which is Book of Meme. Now, this is the falling wedge pattern that Book of Meme is still in. Okay. Now, the price target, let's just say if it breaks out by this point, for example, I think that is still reasonable. Price target would be about 1.6 cents price targets. Now, price targets are estimates only. It very much depends on the markets. If it's a bullish market, bearish market, sideways market. Right now, I am still bullish, but I am a little more careful based on that weekly time frame pattern. So this is what I'm looking at for BOME, the price target. Let's zoom in and see if I can get some more clarity on what BOME could be doing. Daily time frame. Daily time frame, I mentioned this falling wedge pattern. Falling wedges, you guys should definitely be paying attention to because they have a higher chance of breaking to the upside. They still have a smaller chance of breaking to the downside. I've seen that happens, but the higher chance is a breakout to the upside. Now, this falling wedge has broken to the upside. Price target was about 0.25 cents. BOME has basically met that price target. Okay, so let's go ahead and invalidate this pattern here. And what could Book of Meme be doing now? Let's zoom in to the 4-hour time frame and see if I can get some more clarity. 4-hour time frame. Falling wedge again. Let's see if this one will break to the upside as the probability is in favor of. Now, let's just say if it breaks out by this point, price target would be about 0.23 cents price target. Now, there are some downside to be considering as well, like if this falling wedge breaks down, or if a breakout happens and the price action does not reach its price target. So those are some scenarios to be taken into consideration of. Especially if you guys are trading breakouts. Those are those are going to be riskier, okay? I try to trade from within the pattern. Let's go ahead and go to Moo Deng, see what's happening with this meme coin here. Excuse me. I'm going to wait for the chart to load. Let's go ahead and go to the daily time frame. I think that is where the discussion will be at. All right, so daily time frame. So quite a few falling wedge patterns here that has been breaking to the upside but has not quite met its price targets. Like I've been telling you guys, that could happen, okay? Now, Moo Deng, daily time frame. This has broken out of this bigger one, the biggest one here, and the price target here will be about 29 cents. It has not quite gotten there yet. It has went as far up as about 25 cents before this huge dip here. Now, is this price action still, is this breakout still valid? In my opinion, it is, because the price action is still above that upward trend line of that of that bigger falling wedge pattern. Now, since the breakout here, it has formed quite a few more falling wedge patterns that has fell short. And the price target for this medium one would be about 22 cents. It has not gotten there, but the price, the breakout's still valid. It has, I mean, if Moo Deng actually breaks down some more, then I will have to invalidate this medium falling wedge pattern. It has also formed a smaller falling wedge pattern since the breakout and the dip here as well, and the price target for this one would be about 17.5 cents. Let's see if it rebounds from here and probably meet some of these price targets. Otherwise, we're gonna have to rechart some of these patterns here because it could invalidate those breakouts as the price action continues dipping below their breakout trend lines. Okay, it is at the daily 200 SMA. Let's see if it could get some support there. I would expect that to be pretty good support. But let's see if that is the one that would take Moo Deng to higher highs. Let's go ahead and go to Osaka protocol, OSAK USDT. See what's happening in this coin here. It is also a meme coin. It is a cat coin. There is a time and place to trade these meme coins. Like if Bitcoin has it has bottomed before a good rebound, or if Bitcoin is, you know, in a very clear bull cycle. Now, OSAK. Let's take a look into what's happening here. I'm gonna wait for my chart to load. It has been kind of slow lately. So all right. I'm gonna wait. I think I have lost internet access. All right, I think I have regained access here. So, all right, OSAK. Give me my chart here. All right. Okay, just very quick here. It was a rising wedge pattern on the daily time frame. I'm gonna try to do this in 20 seconds. On the daily time frame, rising wedge pattern, price target for this breakdown would be about 7 zeros and 94. Let's see if it can escape this breakdown target by breaking above this upward trend line here. Okay?